This episode is brought to you by Leo Bato and Associates, ang realtor na patok.
What do you see yourself doing in terms of inspiring other people?
I mean, obviously, being on this, hopefully, people will get inspired with work and being part of being either entrepreneur or being as part of the community. For Brown Baked, it'd be I've always had this dream that I want somebody to hire me as a creative director.
Wow.
So we're putting this out in the universe right now to create new desserts and buy my recipes and hire me on. That way, we could continually make these new creations that are in my head.
This episode is brought to you by ABA E-Services.
As for SoCal Filipinos, I see it as continually being a community program. Now that we're able to go in person, we want we want to start doing our live events and having these panels. A huge dream for me. I'm also putting these out there is to have FilCon.
Explain FilCon.
So I want a Filipino American convention where we have different types of tracks where they're and different types of workshops. So whether there's one about mental health, there's one about cooking, there's one about if we want to talk about podcasting, music, entertainment, any issues that's is affecting the Filipino American community. You pick whichever one. Obviously, I would love it to be a 2-day. Maybe we'll start with 1 day. But that's my dream for SoCal Philippines, to be known to have FilCon.
I want to be part of that.
Let me find some sponsors so we could start planning.
I'll help you find some sponsors.
So I mean, that's really that's my. I've talked about this, and I spoke because I'm also on the board for SIPA. I'm not sure if you're familiar with SIPA.
I am familiar with SIPA, and to everybody not familiar with SIPA, that's where the Black Eyed Peas started their gig. Intro Voice performed at SIPA already.
We're celebrating our 50th year. This
Where's
year.
the invite?
I am the chair of the gala. You will get the invitation.
There you go.
It'll be on October 15th.
We'll be there.
So stay tuned. We are looking for sponsors for that. But I spoke. I said this idea to Kimi Maniquez, who's the current executive director. Just we will support you on that, because I also want a whole vendor area where I could see supporting our small Filipino businesses. Have that be the convention area. We have the workshops, and then a whole row. I want whatever Filipino nonprofit there, so that they could promote the work that they're doing free to them.
Grabe,
because I know that it's hard for them to raise money. And any extra expenses, it's a little bit tough. So it's I would love to have even the whole nonprofit section be free to them. So it's just a lot of ideas for that whole FilCon. I would love to see that actually come to fruition.
Diba?
Yeah,
okay, now, so you have FilCon, you're the chairman of SIPA, you have all these things going.
Gala co-chair. I just want to.
Okay, Gala co-chair. Okay.
Yeah.
But you still have the power to invite Intro Voice, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'll put that in.
Okay. Do you feel like you've tap boarded the goals and dreams that you've aspired to achieve, or do you think this is just the beginning of a bigger playing field?
I think I'm kind of entering into a new phase of my life with the formation of SoCal Filipinos, which is quite interesting. That I've gotten so many more opportunities.
How strong is SoCal Filipinos?
53,000.
Oh my goodness!
Under 2 years, can you believe that? 53,000. That's just crazy. I mean, we were
and most of the members are behaved, huh?
Most of them are. Some are not.
I know.
Some are not. It's okay. That's why we have my team that makes sure that they moderate the conversation that's happening there.
Here. Okay, so next level. I didn't mean to cut you, but okay, you're reaching the next level.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a new phase of my career, new phase of my life, just with the work that's being done, especially for the Filipino community.
Right.
Because I mean, really, before this, I was just really focused on career, not really community work. And now I'm doing being an entrepreneur, and now a community leader, right? With SoCal Filipinos, being
an influencer.
I don't like to use the word.
Why not?
Influencer.
Why not?
I don't think I am an influencer. I think. I think I would prefer community organizer maybe rather than influencer. I don't think I have the personal influence, but I see what is needed within the community and I gear it or steer it.
Are you gonna go into politics?
I don't have.
Again, your body says something else. Huh?
I have never worked in politics. I have never had any experience. I'd be open to it.
There you go.
be open to
See, your body. Now that you mentioned the body language, I'm like, no. He means yes.
I'd be open to it if an opportunity was to come.
Right. Okay. So, community leader, community organizer, new chapter in your life. You are aware that you are partly responsible for all the 53,000 plus and growing members of the SoCal Filipinos community, right?
Yeah, it's a huge responsibility in keeping them aware. Whether if it's issues that's affecting the Filipino community, or if it's new restaurants or food, or even artists. I mean, any films that are coming out, we want to make sure that they know about that. And in a couple of weeks, on April 10th, we're actually going to be interviewing the team behind that Fox hit TV show, The Cleaning Lady. So,
oh, yeah. I know.
So we have Miranda Kwok, and we have a couple of stars like Martha Milan, who's a co-star who plays Fiona, and Ruby Ibarra will be on.
Yes.
Yeah, and we have a couple of the writers. So they have a good number of Filipinos that are working on that show, and we need to have pride in that, especially with that show being a hit show and having Filipino representation.
Yes.
Because I went to the preview, and I was there with my friend Sweeney, and we're like, did they just speak in Tagalog?
Right.
Were they speaking Tagalog? And like, oh my gosh, they're speaking Tagalog. Like, our eyes open. It's like, wow,
like
that's amazing.
No Way Home, like Spider-Man No Way Home. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Anytime we see something like that, we need to make sure that like we have more people watching it. So they're making sure, like, especially with this TV show, we want it to pick up for a second season.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Your own app. Do you ever think about having having the SoCal Filipinos app instead of just relying on Facebook?
That was something that John Eric and I talked about in the beginning stages.
What happened?
Funding, because it does take a lot of money. Funding is always an issue. So if you want to donate, we are a 501c3. It's tax deductible if you're here in the United States.
Right. What if someone donates their time? What if we have a friend who's a systems engineer who does apps and decide to donate their time in creating the app and be compensated with a gift receipt of the value of their...
Oh, we would do that. Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, we would love to see, like, SoCal Filipinos. And then the first idea was we want it to be a place for them to find all the Filipino-owned businesses.
Right.
Like, if you're looking for because if you go in the group, you're like, someone's either looking for a barong or they need travel insurance.
It's like our own marketplace.
Yeah, so that's really, like, what they're asking about. And then have a place, like, if they want to have, like, a chat room and just chat with our... but, I know there's those other apps too, but I'd love it to be an all-in-one.
Yeah, not only that, how about more of like you have your show and everybody has their shows. Like, there's a channel portion of it.
Yeah.
Diba?
And you could post
Paco's place there.
Yeah.
Diba? I mean, it's like for me, this is an opportunity to really sit down with you, and this is the first time I've had someone from who has organized and has achieved what you guys have achieved, and I'm here face to face with you. I don't have to type in my my sentiments, and I'm like, I'm looking at the group. I'm going, imagine if Zuckerberg decides to stop Facebook. What's gonna happen to?
Yeah, that's true. Which we don't think it's gonna happen, but which is why we're on several platforms. So that way,
what other platforms?
So SoCal Filipinos is on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, we are on Kumu, but we're still trying to figure that one out.
You know what you didn't mention, and I think we've met in this. What was that app that that we had to talk on, that we had to speak, and everybody...
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
We're on Clubhouse.